There are 10 mobs, and you have 40 seconds for each one to guess the mob based on the hints I give you. Good luck. Mob number 1. Hint 1. This mob is neutral. It can either be friendly or hostile, depending on the situation. Hint 2. This mob can spawn with status effects. Sometimes it naturally has effects like poison or regeneration. Hint 3. This mob is scared of armadillos. If it gets too close to them, it will run away. Hint 4. This mob can spawn from spawners. It can appear from certain monster spawners, just like blazes in the nether. Hint 5. This mob can be ridden by other mobs. Baby zombies can ride chickens, and this mob can be ridden too. Final hint. This mob can climb walls. Unlike most mobs, this one doesn't need to go around obstacles. It just climbs. The mob was the spider. Mob number 2. Hint 1. This mob takes no damage when it falls. Most mobs will get hurt if they fall from high places, but this mob can fall from any height without taking damage. Hint 2. This mob is friendly. Some mobs, like zombies, will attack you, but this mob won't hurt you. However, it won't spawn in peaceful difficulty. Hint 3. This mob can run fast. Most mobs have a set speed, but this mob can run quickly if the player is nearby. Hint 4. This mob lives in the jungle. It only spawns on grass blocks in jungle biomes. Hint 5. This mob attacks baby turtles. Some mobs attack others, and this one will go after baby turtles. Final hint. This mob scares away creepers. If creepers get too close, they will run away from this mob. This mob was the ocelot. Mob number 3. Hint 1. This mob is a variant of another mob. It's a special version of another mob, just like how glow squids are variants of squids. Hint 2. This mob is hostile. It will always attack the player when it sees you. Hint 3. This mob despawns in peaceful mode on Java Edition, but not on Bedrock Edition. Hint 4. This mob only spawns in the Nether. You can't find it anywhere else. Hint 5. This mob attacks wither skeletons. It will try to fight them whenever it can. Final hint. If this mob stays outside of the nether for too long, it will turn into a different mob. The mob was the Piglin Brute. Mob number 4. Hint 1. This mob is hostile. Unlike passive mobs, this one will always try to attack the player. Hint 2. This mob is immune to fire. Most mobs get hurt by fire, but this one can't be harmed by fire or lava. Hint 3. This mob stays even in peaceful difficulty. Unlike most hostile mobs, it won't despawn when the difficulty is peaceful, but it won't attack you. Hint 4. When this mob hits you, it gives you a status effect. It doesn't just damage you, it can also apply a negative effect. Hint 5. This mob doesn't get knocked back. When you hit this mob, it won't move at all. Final hint. This mob can teleport. It moves by teleporting, not by walking. The mob was the Shulker. Mob number 5. Hint 1. This mob is neutral. It won't attack you unless you bother it. Hint 2. This mob has babies. Unlike some mobs, this mob can only have babies naturally. Hint 3. This mob can swim as fast as the player. Most mobs are slower than players in water, but this one can keep up. Hint 4. This mob doesn't freeze in powder snow. While other mobs freeze and take damage in powder snow, this mob is immune. Hint 5. This mob attacks foxes. It will try to hurt foxes whenever it can. Final hint. This mob spawns in snowy biomes. If more than one spawns, the second one will be a baby. The mob was the polar bear. Mob number 6. Hint 1. This mob only spawns from a block. It can't spawn naturally unless the right block is in the world. Hint 2. This mob is passive. It won't attack the player, no matter what happens. Hint 3. This mob is aquatic. It lives in water and will flop around if it gets out, dying if it stays on land for too long. Hint 4. You can pick up this mob in a bucket. You can use a bucket to pick it up, just like a fish. Hint 5. This mob is attracted to slime balls. Like how some animals like wheat or carrots, this mob will follow slime balls. Final hint. This mob is a baby. When it grows up, it turns into a different mob. The mob was the tadpole. Mob number 7. Hint 1. This mob can breathe underwater. Unlike most mobs, this one can live underwater forever without drowning. Hint 2. This mob has a baby version, but it can only be found in creative mode. You can't get it in survival mode. Hint 3. This mob has a special menu in Java Edition. It's similar to the crafting table menu, but only available in Java. Hint 4. This mob is a variant of another mob. It's a special version of another mob. Hint 5. This mob can be ridden. You can control it by putting a saddle on it, but in Bedrock Edition, no saddle is needed. Final hint. This mob is passive. It won't attack you, but when you first meet it, it might be ridden by a hostile mob. The mob was the skeleton horse. Mob number 8, hint 1. This mob sinks in water. It doesn't float like some mobs. It sinks straight to the bottom. Hint 2. Looting doesn't work on this mob in Bedrock Edition. In Java Edition, it drops more items, but in Bedrock, it only drops a maximum of 5. Hint 3. This mob is passive. It won't attack the player, and it's friendly. Hint 4. This mob can be ridden. Just like pigs, you can use a saddle to ride this mob. Hint 5. This mob's name is part of an enchantment's name. Some enchantments have this mob's name in them. Final hint. This mob only spawns in the Nether. You can find it in every biome there. The mob was the Strider. Mob number 9. Hint 1. This mob doesn't take fall damage. No matter how high it falls from, it won't be harmed. Hint 2. This mob is passive. It won't hurt you, but it will go after and attack most mobs. Hint 3. This mob takes damage from water. Unlike most mobs, it's hurt by water, including rain. Hint 4. This mob is immune to powder snow damage. It won't get hurt in powder snow. Hint 5. This mob can be sheared. Use shears on this mob to change how it looks. Final hint. This mob takes damage in the Nether. However, a fire resistance potion can protect it. The mob was the Snow Golem. Final mob. Hint 1. This mob can wear armor. It's just like how players wear armor for protection. Hint 2. This mob runs away from llamas. Some mobs are scared of other mobs, and this one runs from llamas. Hint 3. This mob has different versions. It has several variants that look different but are still the same mob. Hint 4. Foxes run away from this mob. It scares them just like how llamas scare this mob. Hint 5. This mob can teleport. It can only teleport in some situations though. Final hint. You can dye this mob. Dye changes part of its color and look. The mob was the wolf. That's all the mobs. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoyed. See you next time.